So today we're going to talk thermals. I bought my first thermal with no real intention to go hunt coyotes. That is actually what it's kind of evolved into, because that's the best environment for me to use this in currently. So we're just going to kind of go through a few of the thermals that I have and use, and how I set them up and how they work. So I'll put some video on the screen after I kind of describe the piece of equipment. Just kind of giving you a view of what it looks like using the actual thermal itself, just outside my backyard. Nothing too exciting. The first one we're going to go over is the DNT Optics. I have two thermals from DNT Optics. This one is their TNC635R. So the thermal is a 640 by 512. I do believe it's got a 40-degree field of view. This one is their Thermite, which means it is a thermal plus a digital day-night scope, as well as a built-in laser rangefinder and ballistic calculator. That was a mouthful, I know. Has Wi-Fi capabilities to connect to your phone. On the phone, inside the app, you put in your ballistic information for the ammunition that you're using. Then you download the information to here. You tell it what's your zero, what's the grain of the bullet, what's the velocity, what's the distance of scope over bore. And there's some variables you put in there, but it works with the laser rangefinder. So when you're zeroed at a 50-yard zero or 100-yard zero, laser range something further out, it'll tell you the distance. And it'll actually put a little mark on your reticle as you're holed over. So pretty slick. So this is a fairly large unit because it has, obviously, this bottom tube is the thermal. This top one is your digital day-night. This guy over here on the side, this tube over here is where the battery goes, but it's also the IR illuminator. IR comes out of this, and then this little square piece right here on the side is the laser rangefinder. Buttons for obviously functionality and all that stuff. Not going to get too into that. I do have this company is American Defense Manufacturing. They make this QD mount. And the purpose of that QD mount, this one goes on this rifle here. I know exactly where on my pick rail this needs to go. So if I put this right here, I'm done. We're set back up and ready to rock. The purpose of that is it allows you the opportunity to quickly take this off. I say quickly, it's a little bit snug. And sometimes I get the lock in the way when I'm trying to disconnect it, and I don't want to drop it. So that way now you can use it as a monocular. Rifle's on a tripod. You know, maybe you want to do this instead of moving your rifle all around as you're, glassing, scouting, scoping for coyotes. You see something up, time to get on them real quick. Put this back on the rail. I keep missing the mark there. Put that back on the rail, and then you're back in business. So that is the DNT Optics Thermite. I'm going to put up a video right here that I'm going to talk about it again. So if this video is a little bit long, you can scrub through it. This unit is by far my favorite optic. to go out with, but we'll talk about the other ones. They're not as nice. I mean, it's weird as this little guy right here. This is my Jerry YM 2.0 on my night vision setup with my helmet. I think this little guy here costs more than this. I think off the top of my head, the DNT Optics, this Thermite, I believe is about $3,200 or $3,300. This little Jerry on my helmet, I think is closer to maybe $3,800. I could be wrong. I do know that it's more expensive than this though, and it does not have near the capabilities of this DNT Optic. But again, I'm not going to mount this DNT Optic to my helmet. You know, you win some, you lose some. So that's the whole purpose of this little guy here, is its ability to put it on my night vision system for my helmet. You know, both my PVS 14 and my thermal on my helmet. And we're going to talk about the Jerry YM 2.0 and its ability to come off of this mounting system and go on a rifle in what's called clip-on mode, where you actually ride your optic, your thermal optic, in front of your sight. You can be in front of a red dot. You can put in front of an LPVO. That's how I've got it set up, and I'm going to show you that here when we get to it. So that was the DNT Optics TNC635R Thermite. Stay there. Don't fall off. Now we're going to get into the video, and then I'll be back. So this will be the review visual of the DNT Optic TNC635R Thermite. So this is DNT Optics digital day-night scope, as well as the thermal and the as a built-in laser rangefinder. So currently the view we're seeing is the digital day. Obviously I can't do digital night. Video is more focused on thermal, so I'm not really worried about that too much. Currently magnification's at base magnification is 5 with the digital day night, and we'll go up to 20. See if I can adjust the focus a little bit better. There we go. So that's in at 20 magnification. I'll bring it back out again. The base again is 5. So a lot of settings. It's like right now I think the brightness might be at 1. So if I press the brightness button, and level 5, that is level 5. So this is the lowest. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From a brightness standpoint, depending on what time of day it is, you'll obviously decrease or increase your brightness. You'll make it less bright at nighttime and brighter in the daytime. You don't want it real bright at nighttime because it kind of gives you blindness in your eyeball. So the thermal, so if I press this button here, it would go into thermal mode. So thermal is a different zoom magnification. So by default the zoom's 1.5. The mode that I'm currently in is black hot. I prefer black hot. So this one will zoom from 1.5 to 6. So if I zoom in, there's 2.25, 3, 3 3/4, 4.5, 5 1/4 to 6. There's a focus ring on this. I don't know if it'll make much of a difference right now. It doesn't. The view's okay during the day, but obviously you're going to get a better view at nighttime. Signatures look better. So that's at 6 magnification. So press that, bring that out back to 1.5. This has the same settings for brightness. So there's level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This also has where you can change this is both for digital day, night, and for thermal. So if I press this, I can change the reticle color to green, yellow, black, white, and red. I prefer white's pretty good when you're doing black hot. So some of them I can't see the numbers real well. Yellow's actually pretty good too. In thermal mode, pressing one of the buttons actually gives you the ability to change the mode. So this is, I must have been a white hot. This is black hot, which is the one I actually prefer to use. This is red hot. So there's some signatures down below. You can see some of the houses, garage doors and whatnot are going to lighten up down below. Iron hot, white hot, and then back to black hot. One neat function with this too is the picture-in-picture. So I can hold this down and bring up a picture-in-picture. So I'm actually seeing my thermal as well as the digital day optic. So let me move this around a little bit. I have it on a tripod, so it's pretty steady. So without the tripod, it gets pretty wobbly. So I'm going to set it like right to there. So that gives you a visual. And then what's cool is if you press the button to go between thermal and digital day night mode. My OCD's bugging me. I'm trying to get this semi-level. There we go. Press the button for thermal. So now we're back into digital day night mode, but you can see the picture-in-picture up above is now the smaller thermal image. So the laser rangefinder, so I'm going to turn off the pip, and I'm going to press to turn on the laser rangefinder. So the laser rangefinder is that little red square in the screen. It's telling me right now at that distance is 599 yards. So let me see if I can get on a rock or something a little bit better. This little rock outcropping here. So that is 764 yards to that rock. 766. So, and then if I hold down the laser rangefinder button, it'll come out of that mode. And I don't think I have it turned on right now, but there's a setting that when it's on, it'll actually put a holdover on your reticle. And right now you don't see any holdover. It's telling you there. It's because I got 50 yard zero at 766 yards. It's telling me that I need to hold over 57.1 MOA. So, but normally it'll put that visual on the reticle, but I think it's not on right now. And this has a pretty extensive setting system, so I'm not going to dig into it right now, but just what it does is it puts a red or a green line on your reticle telling you where you need to aim. So it's actually pretty slick. The unit does have a small Picatinny rail on the side, so if you want to attach maybe a little red dot, if you want to use that in the event you don't have time to fire this up, you need to take some shots at something, you could do that. The night mode has a IR illuminator that you can actually adjust the throw or the amount of IR that puts out as to how bright your night vision is going to be. So that's pretty slick as well. So I'm going to go back over to thermal mode. I don't know if you could see it, but right above my yellow reticle, there's a little plus or a little crosshair that's dancing around up there. So that little thing is a hotspot tracker. And so what it's doing is it's looking at the environment and it's sensing the temperatures and it's showing me where the hottest spot is within the view that we're looking at currently. So say it's 10 or 11 o'clock at night, so say it's relatively cool, 67 degrees out, not a whole lot of heat signatures coming off your environment, and you have your glassing in an area, and all of a sudden that little plus just jumps onto something. So it's going to say an animal with a 100-degree temperature comes into the frame, it's going to jump onto it. So you can kind of track that. It looks like it's still in the same spot. So that's pretty slick to have that little hot spot tracker. So, And if I were to move the frame, I'll just move it a little bit so you can see here to a different position. You can see now that little hot spot's down on that house. A little bit low right from my reticle. To the right of that little wind vane looking thing. So I'll come back up here. It jumps back up. It's finding the hottest spots up in that frame that I'm in. So, and again, right now it's peak of the day. It's probably 95 degrees out, so everything out here is really hot. Rocks are going to pick up, you know, so there's going to be a lot of pickup. So, but this again is the DNT Optics TNC635R Thermite. This scope goes for, I think on their website right now is about $3,300, which realistically is like an entry level. You're like, well, shoot, that's entry level. I'm sure there is stuff that's less, that if you're just going thermal. But you know, this is one of the entry levels. This is the first one I started with, this Thermite. So it has a quick disconnect Picatinny mount that allows me to take it off my rifle quickly, and I can use it as a monocular. If I scout something, then I can quickly put it back on the rifle and, you know, engage that target. But typically I have multiple thermals, so I'd leave this on my rifle on my tripod, and then I would use either my Hydra or my Jerry as a monocular while I'm out glassing. So this is it for the Thermite. All right, I'm back. That was quick. The next one that I have is from DNT Optics as well. So this is their Hydra HS635. So that's 635. This is 635. So does that tell you anything when you look at it too? So this literally is that thermal minus the digital day-night and minus the laser rangefinder. Interface looks a little bit different and stuff, but again, it's a 640 by 512. I think it's a 40-degree view, field of view. I could be wrong, but that is this guy here. I do have the American Defense Manufacturing QD mount on this one as well. And yes, this one does go on a little bit better than the other one. I say that, but watch, it's probably not going to behave. I've got some marks on my pick rail, so I know exactly where I need this to be placed for it to connect. There I go again doing that. Trying to do this while I'm sitting here is not the easiest thing in the world. So this goes like so. See, it was easy. Second time's a charm. So again, Hydra HS635 thermal. No digital day-night, no laser rangefinder. And we're going to roll into video on the screen on what this one does. So let's roll that footage. Okay, so this review on this one, this is the DNT Optics Hydra, the HS635. So this is pretty much just the little brother to the TNC635R Thermite. So this is literally the exact same unit for thermal minus the digital day-night and the integrated laser rangefinder. So it has all the same features. The screen looks a little bit different. Level is across the left instead of down across the bottom. Information's across the top right as well. It's not showing down on the bottom. So, but you can change your modes. Pressing the button here goes from black hot. Here's red hot, iron hot, white hot, and again black hot. I prefer black hot. Has the same function for your brightness. So this brightness setting is at level 1. We have level 2, 3, level 4, and level 5. The zoom magnification base is 1.5. Does zoom into a 6 X zoom. Kind of shorter increments, not as many as the Thermite, so it goes 1.5 to 2 1/4, 3, 4.5 to 6. So this does have the hotspot tracking. You can see a little red dot down below. I kind of like that better than the Thermite Plus that's on. That one it's a little bit harder to see. I like the red dot, it really stands out. I did check the settings on the Thermite and was not able to find a setting that would change that. If you're aware of a setting, maybe you've got similar setups, let me know, because I would prefer the red dot. Ability to record, obviously, because we're recording video on this now. And that's about it on this one. I'm going to go ahead and move it around a little bit so we can see that hotspot tracking move around. So if I get away from the elements down below, you can see it's finding some hotspots over there. As you move towards it, though, potentially it finds other hotspots and then goes to them. So, and again, this one does not have a digital day-night. It is just thermal and no laser rangefinder. You can see on the left the little turquoise arrows that tells you how far left or how far right you are. I do have the reticle turned off right now because I was just using this more as a monocular. And then on the right side of the screen shows the angle. So obviously the higher you go up in the stack, if you get that to 0, it is pretty much level. So, but that's it. Not a whole lot to talk about on this one. This is the Hydra, their HS635, and again, I'm going to show the actual devices here on screen, and you'll see that this looks just like the Thermite without the digital day-night and the laser rangefinder. So let's move on to the last one. And we're back. So the Hydra, DNT Optics Hydra HS635. I want to say the price of the Hydra is about $2,600 or $2,700 for that one. It adds up. It gets expensive. You want to get into thermal, be ready. And this is low-end thermal. I mean, they got some high-end stuff. I take that back. It's like night vision's pretty bad too. Little guys like this, they'll get you. And the mounts and the bridges that hook everything up. I mean, it's just, when I got into it, I wasn't realizing what it actually cost, and it's a pretty penny. It's good stuff though. I really like it. So last but not least is the little guy. So this again is my Jerry YM 2.0. It is a 640 by 512. I think it is the same field of view. Maybe a little bit less, because when I look through this, it looks smaller on the screen than what I see on the Hydra and the Thermite. So again, I think this one's probably about $3,600 for this little guy here. What's nice with this one is it can go on my helmet, and I can rock this guy, bring it down. Got some carbon on my finger from the rifle. And it's actually pretty sweet, rocking the helmet with your nods on there like so. But so about $3,600 for the Jerry YM 2.0. And to be honest, from a rifle standpoint, I don't like it. When I use it as a clip-on, I'm not a fan. I mean, the DNT Optics far and above this thing here. And again, this is more expensive than either one of those. So that's what I don't understand. I don't know. So great little unit. It does have a clip-on attachment. So on this rifle here, it has an LPVO. This is a Strike Eagle. It's a first focal plane. I think it's a 1:8. Yeah, 1:8 by 24. So this is the Cutie system. It says it's made in Canada, but what you do is you take your Jerry, and it literally sits right there. And it was that fast. That was the fastest one to put on this since I did my other demonstrations. So there is a process called collimation, because when you look through thermal is literally just a digital screen. It's like a little movie screen or something. You know, it's like a camera, video camera screen. So you're not looking through an optic. So collimation, you know, when you look through your scope, your LPVO, the alignment of this to this isn't right. So you have to go through a process. There are some adjustments that you can make inside of the Jerry YM. You put it into clip-on mode, and then you have to collimate it. And then you obviously got to zero it, make sure you're on target by using it. But what happens now is when you're looking through the LPVO optic, you see thermal. So it's acting as like this is a thermal scope now, because it's using the thermal in front of it. So pretty impressive. It works good, but again, for me, I prefer my DNT Optics. And if I have to run one, it's going to be the Thermite, because it has laser rangefinder. I like that. Hydra. So if I'm out hunting coyotes, I'm typically going to have the Thermite on my rifle on the tripod, and then I will typically have this little guy here. My Jerry, I will put into, put this guy down for just a sec. My chest rig, the Jerry goes right here. So that way I can have my rifle on the tripod with the Thermite, not messing with that, and I can take out my Jerry YM and I can glass with that until I pick something up. Put that back in my thing, get on my rifle, and there you have it. So that is about it. So I'm going to jump into the video here that I took of the Thermite. And I don't think there's any audio on the Thermite. I think it just captures video. So I might do a little audio overlay to kind of talk about what we're looking at. There's not a whole lot there. I might just show the video, throw a little music to it. I don't know. I literally just show you the zoom functions. I think it's just the zoom functions and then the different mode functions. So whether it's red hot, you know, white hot, black hot, green hot, outline mode, that's about it. So, but once that's done, I'm going to wrap up the video. So I will be back. Don't go nowhere. I'm back. Man, I like doing that. It's so easy. So, again, the video today is just about thermal capabilities. If you're going to go out and you want to hunt coyotes, I don't believe, I'm not a big game hunter, I don't hunt elk or deer, but I don't believe you can use special lighting for that type of hunting. It's not permitted. Or maybe certain states do permit it, but I don't believe my state permits it. And I don't hunt big game, I hunt coyotes. So if you're getting into hunting coyotes, you can obviously hunt them early morning when the sun's just about coming up or just going down, when you still have visibility. Beyond that, if you want to be able to hunt them in the dark, which is a lot better, you'll need either night vision. You probably want to start with a PVS 14, depending on how much you want to spend. And then some type of thermal. Because thermal, night vision and thermal, they're two different animals. So it's like if you had to choose, it's, hey Nate, what would you rather have, night vision or thermal? For hunting at night, thermal, all day long. Because thermal lights it up like it's light out. I mean, it's not the same. There's a different element to it, but it's like the other morning I was out here at 2:30 in the morning. It was pitch black outside. I had my night vision on, checking the back of the property. I could hear something. I could hear rustling in the brush and stuff, and I was like, okay, something's down there. Turn on the PVS 14 night vision, looking, scanning, not really seeing anything. Maybe a little movement, but nothing major. So obviously I had the Jerry YM on this side, fired that one up, turned it on, and that thing lit up like a Christmas tree. It was a deer in our backyard, and down in the brush. He hadn't come all the way up yet to enjoy some of the bird seed and the salt lick and some water that my wife provides to them. So, but literally just boom. I mean, it's crazy, the difference. So, and I have some footage, I'll probably throw that in here, of that deer. I think I have some. If I do, I'll throw it in here so you can see it. So, but that's it. If you have any questions about thermal or night vision, put them in the comments below. Let me know. It is expensive. Again, Thermite's $3,200, I think. The Jerry YM's about $3,600. The Hydra is about $2,600. You know, so you're going to spend quite a bit of money getting into it. And again, they make systems that are more than this. You know, this to me, I call it kind of entry level. There are thermal devices that are a lot more, you know, depending on the resolution that you go with. I've seen some like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. I mean, for a device, and that's like for one device. So that's outside of my price range. So anyway, I hope you enjoy our videos. If you do, please click that thumbs up, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification to get notified when I'm posting new videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for coming by.